Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Drew. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell notification icon. Now, I don't know if all of you feel like I do, but I'm kind of like split down the middle in this whole, outbreak, this pandemic that is going on. Now I'm like down the middle. Some people believe that this whole thing is just an overreaction. Some people believe there is reason to for panic. And at different points throughout this whole thing, I stand in different places. Now I'm like down the middle. And with everything that's going on, lots of people are now unemployed. And who knows what's going to happen after this whole thing is eventually over? Or will it ever be? Will this be our new way of life? Here in New York, beginning tonight, March 22nd at 8 p.m., the entire state will be on pause. And some people feeling like this is just too much. This is just overreaching for no reason. And early on, if you'd ask me, I would say yes, because when this first happened, I kind of was like, it's just an overreaction. And being a guy that wasn't born here, and I'm sure there's lots of people who weren't born in this country, whether you're black, Hispanic, white, whatever. A lot of us just blew this thing off. It's like it's nothing, and things just keep changing. The information that's being put out there by the media just keeps changing, and when they shut down the schools, my son came home and he's talking about this outbreak, how they talked about it in school. And I guess, he's 5, and I guess kids will be kids. They're making jokes about it. He came home and he said to me, "Dad, I think I have the outbreak." So I'm thinking he's just a kid being a kid. He's just playing around. And I just chucked it off. His mom chucked it off as just him just not knowing and not understanding. And he doesn't. He's 5. A kid that age don't know what's really going on. They only know what we tell them. And who knows to say if any of us have it, because from the mayor, we should all assume that we have come into contact with this outbreak. And maybe right now I do, maybe I don't. But for someone like myself, I wouldn't even know. Because my son, the first week, I think it was Sunday gone, he was complaining of a sore throat. Now, originally, sore throat was not one of the symptoms. But then eventually, I think sometime during the week, I see that they added it on. So he had a sore throat. Then around Tuesday, my daughter, she's 1 year old, she had a sore throat and a runny nose. Now, with my daughter, she had runny nose before this whole thing happened. She's had it on and off since last year. She had cold. She's had a cold, and it's been on and off for her for about the last 4 months. So we don't even know if it's just a common cold or it's this outbreak. My son as well. He's been having a cold on and off, but the sore throat is something new. But then a couple days later, he's fine. So that makes me think it was just him about to get a cold, because once he started complaining about the sore throat, I went and got orange juice. I started giving him orange juice. Then I ended up with a sore throat, and I have runny nose, but I can't really say that that is due to this outbreak because I always have a runny nose during the cold months. From the time fall comes, or um, sometimes as soon as September comes and the temperature gets to a certain low, I guess maybe 50 degrees or whatever, my nose starts to run. Soon as I step out the house, my nose runs. Inside the house, nada, nothing. But once I step out those doors and I go outside, my nose runs, and it still happens. Excepting for the day with the sore throat, my nose did run indoors, but it was only for that one day. So for me, even though I questioned it, I wasn't that worried because, like I said, I would know. I hear them talking about aches and pains. I always have aches and pains. I hurt my back in the gym when I used to go to the gym. I hurt my back at work. I hurt my back working out in the house. So all those injuries to my back, my knee, I hurt my knee when I was 14 playing basketball. And if I'm on my feet for too long, that starts to hurt. If I sleep for too long, my body aches and pains. If I sleep more than 4 hours at one time, my body aches and pains. So for me, that's a usual thing. So I wouldn't even know. And I'm not the only one. One of my brothers he said the same thing. Once he sleeps more than 5 hours, he wakes up in pain, sometimes even sick. So for him, he wouldn't even know if if he even has this thing. The only way for him to know is the sore throat and the fever, because the aches and pains and stuff that's something that we go through already. So we can't even tell by that. So, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of us who have aches and pains. So aches and pains, and sometimes a runny nose, and some of the how can we differentiate the difference between this outbreak and the common seasonal stuff that we usually go through. My girl, for instance, she always has a runny nose. She's always coughing, sneezing, and the reason for that is that she has pet-induced allergies, and we happen to have a husky and a cat. And the husky sheds like crazy. Her hair is always flying. I try my best to keep it down so she doesn't, have her allergy. And because of the allergies, she has asthma. She has allergy induced asthma. So if the windows are closed for too long, because sometimes we have to close it because it's cold outside, and even though the heat is on, it's so cold that the heat doesn't really do anything. So if she comes home from work, or if she happens to be home during that, she starts to sneeze, cough, and because of the asthma, sometimes she throws up. So this is something that is common for her. So we wouldn't even, at least for her, she wouldn't even know whether she has it or not. She wouldn't know. But because she works at a hospital and they screen them every day, they just see her temperature is fine, everything before she can even get in the building. So far everything is fine with her. So that makes me think that why we don't have it at all. None of us have it, but none of us truly knows, because some of us can have light symptoms, some of us can have no symptoms at all. So, and the as far as I can see, they just keep adding stuff on to the symptoms. The only thing that I've been feeling different is sometimes I feel like I'm gonna pass out, but that hasn't happened. And I notice I've been sleeping a lot more, which means my body is been aching more because I've been sleeping more. So that's the only difference I've noticed. The shortness of breath, I don't have it. I mean, I do have shortness of breath. Look at me, I'm a fat ass guy. I go up two flights of stairs and I'm wheezing already. So again, it's hard for me to tell whether that's from my fat or that is from this outbreak. Um, and with all this stuff that's going on, I know a lot of us are anxious, and a lot of us, you know, feel like this is just an overreaction. Now, like I said before, I was like on the side of the overreaction. Then I went to the side of, yeah, what they're doing is right. And right now I'm split down the middle. On the other hand, on one hand, a lot of people are going to be out of work. Even when this is over, the after effects is going to go on for months, maybe years. People will be on unemployment, can't find work, and I know they're suspending evictions for residential and businesses, but how long is that going to hold up? A lot of these people, businesses are forced to close, and who knows if they're going to reopen once this is all over. They're going to have a ton of bills because some of these people rely on those businesses to pay their bills, to pay their employees, and a lot of these employees had to be laid off. I just heard a company somewhere in Manhattan or so on, someplace like that, had to lay off about 2,000 employees. That's a lot, and there's a lot of people that's going to be affected come right now and the aftermath. The panhandlers are now on the street in the corner. I can't walk a block without being asked for $1. And they're begging us like, come on. It's like the trains are practically empty that they have to come to the street because and all of them keep saying the same thing. We're just trying to survive this thing, just like you. I'm seeing homeless people walking on my block that I have never seen before. So this whole thing is just chaos. Just chaos. Now, as I said before, here in New York, beginning tonight, March 22nd, the entire state will be on lockdown. Governor Andrew Cuomo announced Friday that 100% of the non-essential workforce are now required to stay home. The governor said this is not life as usual. Accept it, realize it, and deal with it. Some people already been dealing with this stuff before this 100% because a lot of companies were not getting customers. A lot of, as they call it, non-essentials were being forced to close early. And again, I kind of understand what's going on because as I saw in the news just Friday, because the weather was so hot, tons of people were in the park. Like nothing is even happening. Like the world is not coming to an end. I mean, it's not coming to an end, but it feels like it. And some people just decide they're just going to live their life no matter what. And I completely understand. Some of us we're willing to live our life no matter what. Just like the veteran I met in the supermarket who said this is just an overreaction, that he has seen worse fighting a war. He's seen worse. He's seen dead kids, women, bodies everywhere. He said that's much worse than what's going on here. On the other hand, this thing affects the elder. But a lot of the elders, from what I'm seeing, they're living their life too. Just yesterday, I had to go somewhere, and I'm walking on the street, and there's one of those fruit stands outside where they sell the vegetables and the fruits, and you see a lot of elderly people and young folks bunched up together. There was no social distancing. Everyone is just bunched up, trying to buy whatever. When I go to the supermarket, there is no distancing. Everyone is bunched up to each other because the supermarkets have so much people. Even when it's not crowded, once you go in the line, no one is trying to create a distance. Everyone is just trying to get the hell out of there. And this is something I see everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. Now, there's one place I went to, I walked by. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a wine and liquor store. And they had a line outside, and they were only letting a certain number of customers in at a time. But on the line, the people on the line outside were not doing this social distance of 6 feet. They were not doing that. They were all close to each other, and even inside the store, the line that was inside the store for the certain amount that was allowed in, on the line they were not distancing themselves. So, and then as you can see, the kids in Florida on spring break, just doing whatever. Some people just want to live their life, and I could completely understand, but I also understand the reason why these politicians and the government itself is doing what they're doing. Practically almost the entire country is going to be on lockdown. Probably all 50 states will join in. Who knows? But it's happening. And I'm split down the middle because, like I said, I don't know which way to stand on this. I'm just split down the middle. I understand the reason for why it's happening, and then I understand the reason why people don't want it to happen because of what's currently going on and the after effects of this entire thing. Effective immediately, non-essential gatherings of any size are banned, and strict social distancing, maintaining at least 6 feet distance from others in public, must be obeyed. Public transportation will keep running to get nurses, doctors, and law enforcement officers and other essential personnel where they need to go. Everyone else is asked to use mass transit only if absolutely necessary. And that doesn't mean all you TikTok fans, all you TikTok creators doing all this videos on the train and stuff. I see a lot of people doing skits and stuff on these empty trains or out in these empty streets. That's not a necessary. That's not absolutely necessary. Non-compliance by businesses may result in fines or summonses. At this point, there are no legal consequences for individuals, but crowds violating the new orders will be broken up. Police, people older than 70 and those with compromised immune systems are told to take even more precautions, including pre-screening visitors' temperatures, and making sure any visitors wear masks. I don't know how I'm supposed to just take someone's temperature. And then, like, if I have all these thermometers around to take someone's temperature when they come to the door, but I have noticed that the delivery people, when they come, they are like leaving the packages in front, they place the package in front of the door, and then ring the bell, and then they move back to make sure that you're there. So far, the worst one I've seen is UPS. So far, that's the one that I had running with on Friday. The guy came, delivered a package, and it was an envelope. He basically threw the envelope in my hand, and then he took the package that wasn't even for anyone in my household. It was for the neighbors downstairs, and he just threw it in the door. And then he didn't ask me to sign that. He just walked away and signed it himself. I didn't know that the package wasn't for us until after I closed the door and I read the package, and so it was for the neighbors. And I understand why, but he didn't have to throw the package. You could have just placed it down. The Amazon trucks, when the delivery person come, they just put it on in front of the door, then ring the bell, and then they watch from a distance to see that I open the door and I pick it up, and then they leave. That's how it's being done. People older than 70 and those with compromised immune systems are told to take. Okay, so I've already read this part. Now, there are a lot of people, young people, who have compromised immune systems but don't even know it. As I mentioned before in a previous video, there are lots of us who are diabetic but don't even know it, because a lot of young folks don't go and get their checkups. I had a full checkup in December and everything was fine. So I know that I'm not diabetic, but there are a lot of us who are, or a lot of us that have some kind of immune deficiency or something that we don't even know about. Cuomo acknowledged businesses will be forced to close. Families will face severe financial strain. Some of us already are. And he announced a 90-day moratorium on all commercial and residential sorry, I lost my place where I was. Cuomo acknowledges businesses will be forced to close, families will face severe financial strain, and he announced a 90-day moratorium on all commercial and residential evictions to try and ease the immediate burden. But if all of these measures save just one life, the governor said, they are worth it. Statistically, about 80% of people who get the novel outbreak, so yeah, 80% of the people who get this outbreak self-resolve without needing further treatment. Overall, the risk the risk to the general public is low. New York has seen its percentage of cases requiring hospitalization. However, hospitalization hover around 18 to 24%. Let me scroll up here for a second. The outbreak killed city residents at a rate of more than one per an hour on Friday. Between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m., 14 people in New York City died from the outbreak, pushing the Big Apple's total death toll to 43. Current stats as of recording this video right now, Brooklyn has the most at 1,750 cases, followed by Queens with 1,514, then Manhattan with 1,402, then the Bronx with 736, and finally Staten Island with 285 cases. So that is what we are getting right now for the 5 boroughs. And probably by the time I finish recording this, it will be more. And this is not going to be good. 100% of non-essential. I don't know what business is non-essential, but what I feel sorry for all of those people that are going to be out of work. Because if businesses are not making money, they are forced to close. A lot of these businesses will not reopen. I don't even know if the Chinese restaurants in the neighborhoods are going to be open because of the violence towards them. People blame them for this. And I said it before, I don't understand why why we're taking it out on the Asians in this country who doesn't have anything to do with with where it started. They weren't there in China when this thing started. They're not responsible. Not even the people in China are responsible. I don't think it's responsible for this. Sirens is going off. That's something that's been happening, going on for days. If you hear the siren, I'm sorry about that. I can't make that not happen. It's been going on constantly. I'm surprised it took that long for it to even happen, because usually all day, about every 10 minutes, you hear an ambulance, and you're so. And like I said before, I'm like split down the middle with this whole thing. I understand both sides and what's going on, and they're just I don't know how. I don't know. I can't even come up with an idea how they can make this. What they could have done as an alternative. Like none of us knows. None of us has the answer. They themselves don't have the answer, because everything they're basing this on is on theory. You know, as they said that they're expecting this thing to spread less in the summertime, in the warmer weather. But look at Ecuador. Ecuador, just maybe a week or two ago, they were only at 15, and now they're over 200. And it's not spreading, but again, I can't say it's not spreading as the rate as New York or any other place, because they are not screening as much as we are. So there's probably more than that. So far from what they've screened, they only have 200 and change, but who knows? It could be way more than that. So let's see. Hope like they said it should, but even they themselves are not sure, because they're basing this on past outbreak of this type. So there's no exact science behind how this is going to work, how this is going to play out in the warmer months. Let's see. I wish everyone the best. My heart goes out to all of those who are unemployed and are struggling or in a strain or losing their businesses. This thing needs to be over fast, but we're looking at this probably for a year. Probably for a year before this, for a maybe a viable working vaccine is out and they get this thing under control. And there are even people saying that this thing, even if they get a hold on it now without a vaccine, we could see this thing return in the colder months, come back this fall. I hope that is not the case. I hope everything goes the way we want them to go. I hope everyone is able to return to life, which I know everyone is not. Who knows? This might be our way of life from no one. But I know I'm not gonna live like that. I know if it becomes like that, I'm gonna just live like every day is my last. Because I'm not gonna be forced to be inside my home all day long. I've been doing it for a while, but because I want to comply. But at a point, we cannot live in fear. At a point, we're gonna have to live our lives. That's all I have for this video right now. I will do it, and I will do updates as they come out, or as soon as let me say as they come out, as soon as I am able to record, and because as I said before, I'm a dad, and that comes first. Doing the videos on this or on any other subject takes a backseat when it comes to my kids, because I have to take care of them first. But whenever I can do updates, I will, as soon as I'm able to. Like I said again, please like, share, subscribe. Hit that bell icon so whenever I upload a new video, you will be notified. Until next time, this is Drew. Peace.